My boyfriend admitted he wishes he was with my sister. I've always believed in fairy tales, in the idea that love could conquer all, that a soulmate was out there waiting for me. When I met my boyfriend 4 years ago, I thought I'd found him. He was charming, attentive, and seemed to genuinely care about me. Little did I know that beneath his sweet words and loving gestures, a dark truth was festering, a truth that would come crashing down on me like a tidal wave, leaving me gasping for air and questioning everything I thought I knew about love. I was 23 when we started dating, and he was 26. We met through my sister, who has been his best friend since their freshman year in college. My sister, who I'll call Emily, is a bright and vibrant person, beautiful, confident, and charismatic. She's the kind of person who lights up a room by walking into it. Growing up, I always felt like I was living in her shadow. She was the pretty one everyone wanted to be friends with, while I was the quiet, shy girl who never quite knew how to fit in. But Emily was always there for me. She never made me feel less than or let me dwell on my insecurities. When guys showed interest in me just to get closer to her, she would laugh it off and joke about how I should switch teams and start dating girls instead. Her support was a lifeline, helping me navigate the treacherous waters of adolescence and young adulthood. When I started dating my boyfriend, it felt like I'd finally found someone who saw me for who I was, someone who wasn't interested in my sister but in me. He was my first kiss and love, the man I thought I'd spend the rest of my life with. He always told me how much he loved me, and how excited he was to build a future together and start a family. It all felt like a dream come true. But that dream turned into a nightmare one fateful night when, after we had been intimate, he casually dropped a bombshell that would forever change the course of our relationship. As we lay in bed, wrapped in each other's arms, he looked at me and said, "You know, sometimes I pretend when we're seeking that I'm with your sister." Time seemed to stop. The air in the room grew thick, suffocating. His words echoed in my head, each one a dagger piercing my heart. I could barely process what he had said, the sheer audacity of it. My sister? The woman who had always been there for me, who had never once betrayed my trust. The thought was too much to bear. My face must have shown the depth of my shock and pain, because he immediately started to backtrack. "A few years ago, not anymore," he stammered. "I don't know why I said that, I'm sorry." He kept apologizing, trying to make it seem like it was just a fleeting thought, a momentary lapse in judgment. But the damage was done. I was shattered, my trust in him obliterated. I asked him point blank if he had ever cheated on me with my sister. He denied it, of course, swearing up and down that it was just the high from sex talking, that he didn't mean it. But his words felt hollow, empty. The more he tried to explain himself, the deeper the knife twisted in my gut. I couldn't stay there, not with him, not after what he'd said. I grabbed my things and left, heading straight to Emily's apartment, where she lived with her girlfriend, Mel. I cried for hours, feeling like my world had been turned upside down. I had given this man 4 years of my life, trusted him, loved him, and now it all felt like a lie. What had I done wrong? How had I been so blind? Meanwhile, my phone was blowing up with messages from him. At first, they were full of apologies, pleading with me to return, saying he didn't mean it. But when I didn't respond, his tone changed. He started calling me crazy, saying I couldn't take a joke. A joke. How could he think that was something to joke about? I was lost, torn between anger and despair. I didn't know what to do, so I decided to confront him with the help of Emily and Mel. The next day, we all went to the apartment my boyfriend and I shared, ready to face him. When we arrived, he seemed annoyed, as if our presence was an inconvenience to him. He was in a game and didn't want to be interrupted. But I insisted we talk, and after finishing his match, because apparently that was more important than our relationship, he finally joined us in the living room. I asked him again if he had meant what he said, and he immediately asked Emily and Mel to leave the room. They went into the kitchen, but they were close enough to hear everything. He tried to brush it off, claiming he didn't even remember saying it, that he must have been out of it, and that I was overreacting. That was it for me. I told him to pack his things and leave. He refused, saying it was his house even though his name wasn't on the lease. He got up and started to walk away, but Emily and Mel blocked his path, insisting he leave. He still refused, so I took matters into my own hands. I grabbed a duffel bag and started packing his things. As I did, I found something that made my blood run cold, condom wrappers tucked away at the bottom of the bag. We never put our trash there, and I knew he hadn't lent the bag to a friend. The implications were clear. He had been cheating on me. When he saw what I'd found, he panicked. In a last-ditch effort to deflect blame, he claimed he had been sleeping with Emily. My sister, the same sister who is engaged to a woman, has never once shown any interest in men. Its absurdity was almost laughable, if it wasn't so infuriating. Mel stepped in, threatening to call the police if he didn't leave. She also warned him that they would file a report if anything was missing. He finally realized he was outnumbered and outmatched, so he packed his things and left, spewing insults as he went. After he was gone, I broke down. Emily held me while I cried, reassuring me that she would never betray me like that she loved me and only wanted the best for me. I believed her. Of course I did. I'd always trusted her, and that trust was unshakable, no matter what lies my ex tried to spin. Since that day, he's continued to harass us, bombarding our phones with messages ranging from desperate pleas to come back to accusations and insults. He even somehow got Mel's number and started harassing her too. But we blocked him on everything, cutting him out of our lives for good. In the end, I'm grateful for the support of my sister and Mel. They were my rock during this nightmare, helping me find the strength to leave him and start healing. And to all the strangers who reached out to me, offering advice and words of encouragement, I can't thank you enough. Your kindness has been a beacon of hope in this dark time. So, here I am, trying to piece my life back together, learning to trust again, and remembering that I deserve to be loved for who I am, not for who I'm not. It's a long road, but I know I'll get there with the support of the people who truly care about me. And as for my ex, I hope he realizes just how much he threw away one day, but by then, it will be too late. I'm moving forward, leaving him and all the pain he caused behind me. Comment. Jujubee NYC girl. You are definitely not the crazy one that can't take a joke. He is crazy to think that what he said was okay. It was hurtful, and absolutely a shit thing to say. I'm sorry, but you deserve better. Op. I'm not even sure what I'm supposed to do at this point. My parents have been hinting he's asked about proposing, and everything felt like it was going perfect until the other day. Jujubee NYC girl. Oh no, do not marry that man. You might always think about what he said, and in the back of your mind you'll wonder if he'd rather be with your sister instead of you. Do you think you'd be able to trust him and his feelings for you? This is something you should break up for. This is truly messed up and I'm upset for you. You really do deserve better. Linerva. This. If it were me, I'd always think on the back of my head that I was just the consolation prize. That he only married me to stay close to my sister. That every time we make love, he is imagining her, which is something he admitted to. That he only wants to have kids with me because he hopes they will be like my sister. G's admitted that he's obsessed with the sister after years. He can never be trusted to be honest at this point. The dude has been nursing an unrequited obsession with a lesbian who has never wanted him for years. You cannot fix this. The only sane option is to break up with him and find a man who loves you for you. Op. Thank you. I've written out around 100 texts breaking up with him, accusing him of cheating, asking why he did that, but I haven't sent any because I'm kind of hoping it's just a bad dream.